I've been editing videos for the last 4 years now, and I've become so much faster at it because I make sure that I don't waste time when I'm editing. I like to close my door and throw my phone to the other room. It's very easy to get distracted when you're editing, and a big part of that is procrastination. You've been editing videos for hours, and it feels like you're not going forward. You just want to get it done faster, without losing quality. Well, it's your lucky day, because you're about to learn the secrets to editing efficiently. Let's launch Adobe Premiere Pro. Number 1. Trimming your videos faster and without using a mouse. To do that, you need to understand ripple trim first. Let me demonstrate. When you drag your playhead on a clip and hit the Q key, everything on the left side of your playhead will be deleted, and the remaining part will snap to the clip in front. Let's say I want to delete the last part of my clip. Then simply drag the playhead and hit the W key. This will delete everything on the right side of the playhead, and all the clips on the right side will snap to your current clip. The time that you spend doing an edit, then re-watching the entire video up until that point to see how it all looks together. If you're looking to upload good videos, you also need to stop trying to make perfect edits and be okay with something that's good enough. Understand that literally nobody except you cares about making things perfect, and if it's possible, then you'll be okay. Now that that's clear, we're gonna take a look at the JKL keys. With the L key, you can play this video forward in the timeline. If you press it 2 times, the playhead will move 2 times as fast. You can keep tapping L to speed up the playback. To stop playing the video, hit K on your keyboard. Now let's move on to the J key. This one works exactly the same, but you can use it to play your video backwards or to rewind it. Okay, now you know how to navigate through your timeline. You can add cuts and use the Q and W buttons to trim your video extremely fast. This is great for rough edits, but what if you want to make these precise cuts? You need to be able to move around frame per frame, and you can do that with the arrow keys. Unfortunately, they are too far away from the JKL keys. Now, to make it more accessible, we're going to set some shortcuts. Go to Edit, and then Keyboard Shortcuts. In the command list, search for 1 frame, find Step Back and select it, then hit the N key. Now select Step Forward, and choose the period key or whatever key is underneath the L key. Now you can set your cuts extremely fast and precise. Your edits will be done in no time. Next, I want to give you my secret customized shortcuts that will help you speed up your edits. First, go to Edit, and then again on the bottom, choose Keyboard Shortcuts. As you can see, most F keys on top are unused, and you can actually use them to assign your own favorite shortcuts to them. On F1, I like to have Keyboard Shortcuts. Keyframe Ease Out shortcut. To do that, find it in the command list. Type in Temporal. Then once you've found it, click the empty space next to Ease Out. Now press F1 on your keyboard. I also added Ease into F2 and Linear to F3. Now when easing keyframes, you can use the F keys instead of right-clicking constantly. For F5, I added the Nest feature. That way you can quickly nest a selection in the timeline. On the F6 key, I added the Frame Hold shortcut. That way I can add freeze frames in a second. Now there's so much more you can do with custom shortcuts. The next trick is gonna blow you away. Learning your shortcuts in general will seriously step up your editing workflow. I actually know a strategy that will help you learn them super fast. What if you could turn multiple lumetri effects into one single LUT? That would save us a lot of time, because we don't have to mess around with presets anymore. Now, unfortunately, that's impossible, unless you know my secret workaround. So, in the effects controls, you can see both my lumetri effects. To turn them into a LUT, go to the timeline and duplicate your clip. Then with the second clip selected, go back to the effect controls and delete the lumetri effects. Now, go to the lumetri panel and open up the color wheel and match tab. Here, you can change the color. Click on comparison view. Now, in the program monitor, you will see your current clip on the right. And on the left, you can select a reference clip with a timeline. Find the video with the 2 lumetri effects applied. Now it's time to match your new clip with the reference video. You can also change the view of your comparison. I like it to be on split. Now, to match the clips, click on Apply Match. There you go. Both your lumetri effects are now applied in one lumetri effect, which means we can turn it into a LUT. Now, to do that, go to the menu on top and choose Export, Cube. Now, in future videos, all you need to do is apply this to your LUT, and there you go. You're done. The clips are perfectly synced to your music. Now, in Premiere there's something called Automate the Sequence that will save you a lot of time. First, move the playhead to the beginning and then press the spacebar to play. Press M to place a marker on every beat of the song. You know, just use your feelings for music. Now, head over to the project window and go to the first clip. Then move your cursor into this blue line. If you press I on your keyboard, you will set an in point. This means that when you drag it in the timeline, the clip will start from the point you selected. Do this for all your clips. Next, you want to put them in the right order that you want them to be in the timeline. Now, when that's done, click the Automate to Sequence button. In this window, you can choose the type of ordering, which is going to be in the order of the project window. Now, set the placement to unnumbered markers to sync them with the markers we've set. Then click on OK. And now, all your clips are synced to your music. So, you're almost done editing and you suddenly notice that one of your audio clips is missing. Now, instead of wasting time when searching for your audio clip and trying to sync it again, select the clip with the missing audio. Then hit F on your keyboard and this will open up the source of your video. This is called match frame, and the in and out point of your clip will be right here. Now simply click and drag the audio waveform into the timeline, and there you go, your audio is now recovered. So, you probably already know that you can transcribe speech inside the Premiere Pro text panel. Now, it's not really necessary that you do this for every clip separately. Premiere can now do this in the background as soon as you import a clip. To enable this feature, go to Edit and then Preferences. Then click on Transcription. Here you can choose to automatically enable transcriptions. Then you can of course choose to auto-transcribe your clips in the sequence or the timeline. But you can also select all important clips. If you go down, you can choose to enable language detection. In my case, this is always going to be English. Now, when you drag your clips inside Premiere, it will start transcribing automatically, and on the top right, you can follow the process. But in the meantime, you can just continue your work. There's two ways to speed up your video editing progress. First, get all of your footage, sounds, and music to the best of your abilities before you start editing. This gets rid of the problem of interrupting your workflow when you need to go get editing. Second, it's helpful to build up a library of non-copyright assets that you got off the internet so that you can reuse them later. This is especially useful for music and sound effects, as you'll often reuse a certain style of music across all of your videos and will repeat the same sound effects a lot of the time. Stock footage is more difficult in this sense, because you'll probably need different clips depending on the video you're making, but more generic footage is still possible. I bought an external SSD to store all the sounds and music I had collected, and usually I just throw both these sounds and music folders on that drive into every single new Premiere Pro project, and it would work out great, especially if you name things properly and create organized songs, subfolders. This is a really good hack for speeding up your workflow. Do this with editing presets as well if you're able to find anything good on the internet. If you haven't gotten them already, I'd recommend signing up to my email list from the first link in the description below to get some of my personal editing presets. You'll also get a bunch of sound effects for free too, so there's basically no reason not to sign up. Beyond my free presets, I'd recommend making your own for animations and effects that you often repeat. For example, if you make a ton of animated subtitles or have a talking character like I do in my videos, it may be helpful to presets for those preloaded, so that you're not manually placing keyframes for hours and can actually get things done quickly. It's gonna vary based on your video editor of choice. But in Premiere Pro, all you have to do is place your keyframes, right? Click on the effect with the keyframes and create a new preset. Depending on the type of effect, you'll want it to either stretch itself with the size of the clip anchor itself to the start, or anchor itself to the end. And when you want to use it, all you have to do is look for it in the Effects tab and drag it onto your clip. This works great if you've got stuff that you're used to making manually yourself a lot of the time, but this is also a lot of work, and if you've got 100 different effects that you want to make into presets, it's a lot of time that you have to invest up front, which is not good if you're in the middle of projects with tight deadlines. One day, I realized that outsourcing my editing was by far the best way to speed up my workflow. When you're at a point where you have some money and can invest in outsourcing your editing, it should be one of your top priorities. If you're looking to make a ton of money with your YouTube channel, I would recommend working with an agency like Evokeverse, where we help YouTubers to grow their channel and earn more with our highly engaging video editing service and content strategy, which helped us to grow our channel. Check out the second link on the description below to work with us. And then the last thing to do, which is really important, is to make sure you watch this video here to learn how to become a full-time video editor.